Will members please take their seats? Okay. Good morning and welcome to the meeting of the Milwaukee Common Council on June 23rd, 2026. As the Chair of Finance, I have the honor to be filling in as President said that is absent today, so I'll be running this meeting. And the meeting of the Common Council will now come to order. Will the City Clerk please call the roll?
Alderman Brown.
Present.
Chambers.
Excused.
Brown. Here. Bowman. Here. Westmoreland.
Excused.
Collins.
Present.
Jackson. Here. Zavaleta.
Here.
Taylor.
Here.
Ford.
Excused.
Regalis.
Present.
Spiker. Here. Stanford. I'm here. Pettis.
Excused.
Madam Chair.
Present.
12 members are present, 3 are excused.
Okay, we do have a quorum. Thank you so much. Would you now please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance to be followed by a moment of silent meditation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Are there any corrections to the Common Council Journal of Proceedings for the meeting of June 2nd, 2026?
There are no corrections to the journal.
There being no corrections, the minutes of this meeting stand approved. Okay, we need to take a moment to explain why City Hall has turned pink and green today. I must begin this meeting this morning by welcoming our very special guest. Please stand from Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. Come on up. Stand up, please. We are truly fortunate to again be joined by the members of AKA who are marking the 12th anniversary of their AKA Day at City Hall, and they visit here with the Common Council. This year's visit features the Epsilon Kappa Omega and Upsilon Mu Omega chapters, and we offer them a very hearty and warm welcome to City Hall. I will now call on Alderwoman Milele Cox, who is a proud member of the AKA sorority, and I'd like to recognize her now to provide some additional comments. Alderwoman Cox.
Thank you, Chair. As was mentioned, I am a proud member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. As a member, I recognize the level of sisterhood and service that this institution has been a part of since 1908. I know each of you know, but I don't know that my colleagues know that the first chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority in the state of Wisconsin, that my aunt, Polly Redmond Cox, was one of the founders of. So the pink and green is right in my blood and in my family. And I am so proud to share this day with each of you who I know carry on the tradition of this sorority and its history of civic engagement at a time in this nation where it is critically important that more of us each become more civically engaged so that the freedoms and rights that we have enjoyed and that we must protect are preserved. And it takes not just us as older people, not just the mayor, but it takes citizens, groups, and people with power, because that's truly where the power is, it is with the people. And so, as people watch today and see you all be a part of this meeting and the meeting we will have following this, dealing with more civic issues, my hope is that they're inspired to also become engaged. Because if we are to improve this city and this nation, it's going to take us all. So I just want to thank you all for being an example and being an inspiration here today, and happy AKA at City Hall.
Thank you so much. Are you still working on this? Okay. This year's theme is Safe Communities, Strong Democracy, from Neighborhood Safety to the Ballot Box. We're looking forward to spending the day with each and every one of you. Thank you. All right. Now, Alderwoman Cobbs moves that the Common Council resolve itself into a committee of the whole for the purpose of making a number of presentations. Hearing no objection, so ordered. We again have the great pleasure of welcoming Milwaukee's Juneteenth Day pageant winners who have demonstrated excellence and promise as up-and-coming citizens in our community. They were crowned during this year's 55th annual Juneteenth Day festivities. And I'm sure I don't need to remind anyone here, we have one of the largest and most beautiful Juneteenth Day celebrations in this country. Right now, I now call on Alderwoman Milele Cobbs to escort this year's winners to the front and make the presentations.
Good morning. Good morning. Now, I know we have more energy than that. We have we also have this wonderful young people who have won the Juneteenth pageant. So let's try it again. Good morning.
Good morning.
This year was the 35th annual Miss Juneteenth pageant. It's kind of hard to say and to think that I participated in both the first and second ever Miss Juneteenth pageant. So it is wonderful to see the tradition and the evolution of the pageant. I even saw Mr. Andre B. Ellis, who, when I was in it the first and second year, he was the director of the pageant. I see you over there, Andre. But just that rich history that we have, and it was great to see the tradition continue with so many, and expanding, because now we have the Little Miss and the Junior pageant as well. I had the opportunity of attending it this year and was blown away by the presence and a display of intellect and talent that these young people displayed. I'm sure the judge's job was not in selecting the winners because they all were exceptional. At a time when we hear so much negative about young people in our community, I think it's only right that we take a moment to spotlight some of the exceptional young people in our community. So, and they were a part of the Juneteenth parade. They got to participate in opening ceremonies. And you also highlighted at Summerfest and all of that great thing. And we now made this a tradition for them to also be honored here by the city. So we'll start with Little Mr. Juneteenth 2026. And I'll let, a little different than I've done in the past, I'll let each of them do their introduction of themselves. I'll say a little, but I'll let him do it. This year's Little Mr. Juneteenth is a competition in which the participants must be between the ages of 8 and 13. They must be a Milwaukee County resident and have an outstanding reputation in school, in their community, while maintaining a grade point average of 2.5 or higher. So be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Milwaukee herewith recognizes Michael Terry Jr. on being named Little Mr. Juneteenth 2026 and wishes for him continued success in the future. And be it further resolved that the City of Milwaukee copy of this resolution presented to Michael Terry.
Good morning. My name is Michael Terry Jr. I am going to attend Roosevelt School of the Arts, and I'm going to celebrate. I am a defensive and offensive lineman for the Steely Panthers. My hobbies include football, games, math, and reading. When I grow up, I would like to be a professional football player for the Green Bay Packers.
And as we go on to Mr. Juneteenth, I shouted out the past director of the pageant, Ms. Angela Ellis. I do want to shout out the current director, Ms. Felicia Williams. Week after week, I'm sure what's me, but her and her team were committed to it. I also want to give a special shout out to the parents of these magnificent young people who are here. For the Mr. Juneteenth pageant, Mr. Juneteenth must be between the ages of 14 and 18, and he must live in Milwaukee County and have an outstanding reputation in school and in community while maintaining a grade point average of 2.5 or better. And be resolved that the Common Council of the City of Milwaukee herewith recognizes Jace White on being named Mr. Juneteenth 2026 and wishes for him a continued success in the future. And be it further resolved that the City of Milwaukee copy of this resolution be presented to Jace.
Good evening. As you said, I am Jace White. I'm 14 years old. Some of my hobbies include acting, playing the alto saxophone, and playing football. I go to Meyer High School, and when I'm finished with high school, I plan on attending Howard University.
Next up, we have Little Miss Juneteenth 2026. Little Miss Juneteenth is for contestants must be between the ages of 8 and 13 and are judged on poison personality, creativity, speech, talent, and responses to interview questions, and a written essay, in addition to being a great student. We further resolve that the Common Council of the City of Milwaukee herewith recognizes Ava Gary on being named Little Miss Juneteenth 2026 and wishes for her continued success in the future, and be it further resolved that a suitably engrossed copy of this resolution be presented to Ava.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ava Gary, and I'm 2026 Little Miss Juneteenth. I go to Milwaukee School. I'm 9 years old, and I'm in 3rd grade. My activities are Girl Scouts of America, Rockstars Athletics Cheer Squad, and Praise Dance Team. When I grow up, I want to be a pediatrician and have my own skincare company. Thank you for your time.
Finally, but certainly not least, we have Miss Juneteenth 2026. Out of the 35 pageants that we have had, I've probably attended 30 of them. I've been a judge, I've been an MC, and I've been a contestant. oftentimes, and I've been a person who didn't win the first time who came back, for redemption. But there is no, participant in the 30 that I've witnessed who has had more, tenacity, resilience, and determination, than this year's, Miss Juneteenth, who, although not winning the first couple of times, was determined to come back, and for the crown, and did just that, this time. Miss Juneteenth, must be between the ages of 14 to 18, and contestants are judged on points of personality, creativity, speech time, responses to interview questions, and a written essay, in addition to scholastic achievements. And you've heard of that the Common Council of the City of Milwaukee here was recognized Gianna Cooks on being named Miss Juneteenth 2026, and wishes for her continued success in the future, and be it further designed that a suitably engrossed copy of this resolution be presented to Ms. Gianna.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to salutation. My name is Gianna Cook. I am 18 years old, and I am honored to act as your 35th Miss Juneteenth. I am on top of acting as my alma mater, Black Student Union co-president, and editor-in-chief of the Trident Yearbook, revolve around the digital and performative arts with just a dash of humanities. I recently graduated with honors from University School Milwaukee, and this fall, I will be headed to Du Bois Honors College, where I will major in graphic design and minor in psychology. I am also a project-centered pathmaker, which works to create civic change as young people in the city of Milwaukee. I did not reveal this information during the pageant, but I actually see my life go two separate ways. The realistic route was for my minor in psychology and my major in graphic design to converge into a PhD in art therapy, or I would be whisked away into a world of superstardom with my singing talent. I am honored to be here, and thank you so much for your time.
2026 Miss and Mr. Juneteenth pageant.
Please rise to show our support of these amazing young people and join us for some quick pictures. Come back into session, please. Let the record reflect that Alderman Westmoreland and Alderman Chambers be marked as present. Alderman Russell Stamper II now. Oh, I'm sorry. Also, Alderwoman Charlene Moore, let's make sure that the record reflects is present. Thank you for that. Thank you, everybody. Alderman Russell Stamper II now moves that the committee of the whole rise, and hearing no objections, so ordered. Will the city clerk please inform the common council of any commendations or condolences to be acknowledged at this time?
Item 1, communication from the city clerk relating to various commendatory and condolatory resolutions to be acknowledged and affirmed by the common council. 1, resolution recognizing the 55th annual Juneteenth Day celebration on June 19th, 2026. 2, resolution congratulating Gianna Cooks on being named Miss Juneteenth 2026. 3, resolution congratulating Jace White on being named Mr. Juneteenth 2026. 4, resolution congratulating Ava Gary on being named Little Miss Juneteenth 2026. 5, resolution congratulating Michael Terry Jr. on being named Little Mr. Juneteenth 2026. 6, resolution celebrating the historical landmark dedication for the Strolenberg Correa House. 7, resolution recognizing the public dedication of a Wisconsin State historical marker at Linden Hill. 8, resolution recognizing the next bar on the occasion of its 1-year anniversary. 9, resolutions recognizing the following as pillars of the St. Mark AME Church: Thomas McCallum, Joseph Campbell, Leonard Garr, Johnny Milton, Walter Bishop. 10, resolution expressing condolences to the family and friends of Mildred B. Mills. 11, resolution expressing condolences to the family and friends of Barry Wirtz. 12, resolution expressing condolences to the family and friends of Donald Payson. 13, resolution congratulating Elvis Locke on his retirement from the Milwaukee Police Department. 14, resolution congratulating David Lowry on his retirement from the Department of Public Works. 15, resolution congratulating Daniel Kenny on his retirement from the Milwaukee Public Schools.
Okay. Are there any objections to the foregoing commendations and condolences? If anyone wishes to be added as a sponsor to any of the commendations or condolences, please fill out the form on your desk and submit it to the city clerk before the close of the workday. We will now take up the reports of standing committees. Alderperson Jocasta Samariba will now present the report of the Licenses Committee.
The Licenses Committee recommends placing on file 2, communication from the License Division related to the permit process for parklets, sidewalk area dining facilities, and the Active Streets for Business program. The Licenses Committee recommends item 3, Common Council file number 260204, motion relating to the recommendations of the Licenses Committee relating to licenses. Included in the file are the following recommendations: renewal of a 30-day suspension of the extended hour established license of Mukesh S. Darab based on the preponderance of the evidence in the police report and authentic testimony that demonstrates that the operation results in a threat to the health, safety, or welfare of the public, and for the failure to comply with the approved plan of operation for the premise located at 3801 South 27th Street, doing business as Denny's in the 13th Aldermanic District. Written objections have been filed. Non-renewal of the Class B Tavern, Public Entertainment Premise, and Food Dealer License of Julio J. Maldonado, based upon a second non-appearance for the premise located at 182 East Lincoln Avenue, doing business as Brown and Gibbs Sports Bar in the 14th Aldermanic District. No written objections have been filed.
Have the members of the Common Council read the report and recommendations of the Licenses Committee?
report as well as the objections. Alderwoman Pryde.
Aye.
Chambers.
Aye.
Broward.
Aye.
Bowman.
Aye.
Westmoreland.
Aye.
Collins. Jackson. Zalmanaba. Taylor. Moore.
Aye.
Burgess.
Aye.
Spiker.
Aye.
Stanford.
Aye.
Madam Chair.
Aye.
14 ayes, 1 excused.
Okay, the report is approved, and we're now on to if Mukesh S. Durrag or his counsel are present. Okay, if so, do you wish to address the common council? Okay, then we will proceed to item number 23. Alderperson Sanariba now moves that the common council convene itself into a committee of the whole for the purpose of taking testimony in these matters. Hearing no objection, so ordered. Both sides are limited to 5 minutes and must confine their remarks to the report and recommendation of the committee. The applicant or their representative is now here. Could you just quickly please introduce yourself?
Attorney Zach Robles.
Thank you. Are there any questions for this attorney? Okay, you now have 5 minutes to discuss this item.
Good morning. I represent Mukesh Road, agent for Denny's Restaurant, located at 3801 South 27th Street. Denny's employs about a dozen employees every night in third shift food industry in an area where there aren't many third shift food industry jobs available. Unfortunately, I had not been retained prior to the licenses committee meeting, but my written objections to the police report and to the findings of fact outlining the changes that the establishment implemented are included in my letter. Today, I just wanted to focus on some of the changes and steps that the establishment has taken since the committee meeting. Since that date, myself, management who was here, along with their security owners, met with Alderman Spiker, MPD community liaison officers, executive director of the 27th Street Business District, Eric Cavazos, and the community partnership unit of the district attorney's office. That meeting was held last week at the Denny's establishment to discuss changes in protocols and procedures to address the concerns that the committee had related to the police report items. The meeting was productive, and a number of changes were implemented immediately. The first being the establishment increased security from Thursday to Sunday to 7 nights per week. That is there 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. every single day. They also updated the security policies. The policies included in my report to the council. Those policies include immediate notification of any police interaction to both the owner of the security company and to management of Denny's. It also requires a daily incident report to be submitted to management at the end of the security company shift. Contact information has been shared with MPD in the bid director to ensure that video surveillance is shared with MPD immediately. The establishment has also ordered a new monitor for viewing surveillance on site, so managers will have the ability to view video surveillance footage with police while they're there. And then finally, no loitering signs have been ordered and they'll be up at the establishment today. In addition to those changes, the establishment is also finishing a nearly $600,000 remodel project of both the interior and exterior. I believe the parking lot should be finished today. It just shows the establishment's commitment to the area, the neighborhood, and the building. Based on these changes, I don't believe that a suspension is warranted. The establishment has taken immediate action to address the concerns. However, if the suspension, if the council is inclined to accept the suspension, I would ask for a 10-day, or that it would be reduced to a 10-day suspension. Thank you.
Thank you so much. At this time, we'll ask if council members have questions for you, so if you could remain here, please. And the first slide I see is Alderman Peter Burgess.
Thank you, Madam President. This establishment had a 10-day suspension previously. Why weren't any of these new changes implemented 2 years ago?
2 years ago, they did hire security staff at that time, so some of the changes have been implemented. In response to this, they're increasing the security from 3 days a week to 7 days a week. And then I think the biggest change is going to be the communication and the partnership with MPD community liaison officers. I don't think the establishment knew of that relationship and of that asset at the time 2 years ago. And now that they have that connection with them, have gone over the policies with the security company.
Okay, but Denny's is part of the bid. They participate.
Right. But I don't think they had a connection with Dara until this meeting last week.
Many of the businesses in the neighborhood are locally owned, operated, including members that participate in the bid. Is the agent present here today?
The agent is not present.
The owner? No. Does he live locally?
The owner is in Kansas. They do have a team of local upper management. They are both here, including the executive director.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Burgellis. Alderman Mark Chambers.
Thank you. I think one thing that you said that kind of struck me was saying that they didn't know about the relationship with the CLOs. And I know my colleague of 13, especially if they got hit with a 10-day 2 years ago, they know about the connection with the CLOs. So I wish you would say something differently than that. I'm having a hard time, as my colleague stated, to believe that, these measures were not thought about prior to. I think it's on the line of skirting the line and seeing how far they can get away with it. And now they got caught, and here we are. I just hope the circuit will make it call. So I'll be supporting the 30-day suspension. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Any other questions or comments from the representative of the applicant by council members? Last call for questions or comments. Thank you, sir. Alderperson Samaripa now moves that the committee of the whole rises. Hearing no objection, so ordered. We also have our Office of City Attorney coming on up. Thank you.
Assistant City Attorney Travis Gresham. You have before you the findings of fact and conclusions of law related to the matter, along with recommendation of the licensing committee. Happy to answer any questions at this time.
Questions or comments from the Office of City Attorney? Questions or comments? I see Alderman Spiker has a light on.
Actually, I'm good for now.
Okay. Last call for questions or comments from the City Attorney. We'll now go to Alderperson Samaripa, who moves that the committee of the whole rises. Hearing no objection, so ordered. Are there any motions with respect to these matters? Okay?
Madam Chair.
Yes, Alderman Spiker.
Sorry, this is what my light is for. As was reported, had a productive meeting with MPD, the bid, which has a letter in on this file, the DA's office, and the owner appeared remotely, along with general managers. So we have some pretty substantial changes in robust increase in security at the establishment. So I make the motion to reduce the extended hours suspension to a 10-day suspension in light of that meeting and the results obtained. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Every member has heard that motion, and it was a 10-day suspension, correct, Alderman?
Yes.
Okay. Discussion of the motion by Alderman Spiker. Okay. Hearing and seeing none, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll. Okay. Any objections to the motion by Alderman Spiker? Okay. Seeing no objections, so ordered. Thank you. Great. And seeing no other motions with respect to these matters, and hearing no further discussion, we now ask for a vote of the common council members to adopt the recommendations of the licenses committee as contained in file number 260204. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderwoman Craig. Chambers. Broward. Bowman. Westmoreland. Cox. Jackson. Zalina. Taylor. Moore. Regales. Spiker. Stanton. Madam Chair.
Aye.
14 ayes, 1 excused.
14 ayes, 1 excused. The report has been adopted. Is there any further discussion of the committee report? Recommendations was adopted. Hearing none, Alderperson Zamariba moves for approval of the remainder of the report of the licenses committee. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderwoman Craig. Chambers. Broward. Bowman. Westmoreland. Cox. Jackson. Zalina. Taylor. Moore. Regales. Spiker. Stanford. Madam Chair.
Aye.
14 ayes, 1 excused.
14 ayes, 1 excused. The committee report is now adopted. Alderwoman Milele Cox will now present the report of the Public Works Committee.
The Public Works Committee recommends passage of 4, a substitute ordinance related to state requirements for recycling and other purposes. The Public Works Committee recommends adoption of 5, substitute resolution assigning the honorary street name Carl E. Hunt to North 47th Street between West Burleigh Street and West Roosevelt Drive in the 7th Aldermanic District. 6, substitute resolution assigning the honorary street name Shirley Smith to North 111th Street from West Green Street Road to West Daphne Street in the 5th Aldermanic District. 7, substitute resolution assigning the honorary street name Mary L. McCormick to North Prospect Avenue from East State Street to East Mason Street in the 4th Aldermanic District. 8, substitute resolution assigning the honorary street name Mrs. Sherry J. Trotman to West Roosevelt Drive from North 20th Street to North Teutonia Avenue in the 1st Aldermanic District. 9, resolution authorizing an easement with Wisconsin Electric Power Company on City of Milwaukee property at 823 South 4th Street in the 12th Aldermanic District. 10, resolution directing the Commissioner of Public Works to execute state municipal agreements for a state-led highway project with Wisconsin Department of Transportation for the construction of Interstate Highway 43, Airport Freeway, 92nd Street Bridge, and to set up funds for construction at an estimated total cost of $9,650,000, with an estimated city share of $5,500 and a grantor share of $9,645,400. 11, resolution authorizing the proper city officials to execute state municipal agreements with Wisconsin Department of Transportation for the City of Milwaukee utility alterations in conjunction with the I-94 East-West Early Grading Menominee River 32nd Street Reconstruction Project at a total estimated cost of $45,065,200, with an estimated grantor share of $45,047,600 and an estimated city share of $17,600. 12, resolution authorizing the Commissioner of Public Works and the Controller to execute utility agreements with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation for work on city facilities in conjunction with the I-94 East-West Early Grading Menominee River 32nd Street contract work with a total of $720,000, with an estimated grantor share of $11,408,000 and an estimated city share of $1,272. 13, resolution authorizing an easement with Wisconsin Electric Power Company on the City of Milwaukee property at 3401 West Meineke Avenue in the 15th Aldermanic District. 14, substitute resolution approving levying assessments and construction of accessible public improvements projects at various locations and appropriating funds for these purposes, with the city cost of these projects approved by this resolution estimated to be $156,000 for a total estimated cost of $170,000. 15, resolution determining it necessary to make various non-accessible public improvements at various locations and appropriating funds for these purposes, with the city engineering cost estimated to be $25,000 for a total estimated cost of these projects being $200,000. 16, resolution determining it necessary to make various non-accessible public improvements at various locations and appropriating funds for these purposes, with with the city engineering cost estimated to be $150,000, for a total estimated cost of these projects being $150,000. 17, substitute resolution approving construction of non-accessible public improvements at various locations and appropriating funds for these purposes, with the city construction cost estimated to be $2,882,000, for a total estimated cost of these projects being $5,391,000. 18, resolution directing the Commissioner of Public Works to execute a document entitled Second Provision State Municipal Agreement for a state-led highway project with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation for the programming, design, real estate acquisition, and construction of West Fond du Lac Avenue, State Highway 145, from north of 19th Street to north of 12th Street, and to set up additional funds for design engineering at an estimated total cost of $620,000, with an estimated city share of $155,000 and a grantor share of $465,000. 19, resolution directing the Commissioner of Public Works to execute a document titled First Provision State Municipal Agreement for a State-Led STP Urban Project with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation for the programming, design, and construction of east-west Locust Street, north 7th Street to north Fulton Street. 20, resolution relating to application, acceptance, and execution of funding of a Green Solutions Grant from Milwaukee Metropolitan Storage District for the installation of 8 green alleys to be constructed as part of the city's 2026 Alley Reconstruction Program, and authorizing entry into a post-installation maintenance covenant with the Milwaukee Metropolitan Storage District in the 2nd, 3rd, 6th, 7th, 8th, 10th, and 15th Aldermanic District. 21, substitute resolution directing the city controller to set up funds to a previously executed document entitled Grant Agreement under the fiscal year 2022 Safe Streets and Roads for All Grant Program with the United States Department of Transportation, Federal Highway Administration for the programming, design, and construction of pedestrian accessibility and safety improvements at up to 26 intersections citywide on West Capitol Drive, West Atkinson Avenue, South 16th Street, West Greenfield Avenue, and West Forest Home Avenue, at an estimated total cost of $550,000, with an estimated city share of $110,000 and a grantor share of $414,000. 22, resolution directing the Commissioner of Public Works to execute a document titled Third Revision State Municipal Agreement for a state-led local bridge project with Wisconsin Department of Transportation, the program, design, and construction of West Grange Avenue over the Canadian Pacific Railway. The Public Works Committee recommends placing on file 23, resolution authorizing the appropriate city officials to execute project agreements titled State Municipal Agreement for a Transportation Alternative Program Project with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation for 2 projects.
Thank you so much, Mr. Clerk. The chair recognizes Alderman Spiker, followed by Alderman Burgess. Alderman Spiker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Regarding item 4, I move to replace substitute 2 of Common Council file number 260132 with the attached proposed sub, which clears up certain topographic errors noted by the community research.
Okay, do all members have a copy of that? Take a peek at. Okay, just making sure everyone has it. We move on that first, Mr. Clerk. The substitute's now before us. Okay? Okay, any objections to this substitute? Alderman Spiker? Hearing none, so moved and adopted. We're now on to Alderman Burgess.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's clear that utilities are important, and utility easements are a fact of life that we need, but the price that We Energies has offered to pay the city for various easements, not just this year, but in recent memory, is laughably small. So please note my objection to the $1,100 easement for number 9. Also, the I-94 East-West project is something that will be transformational for southeastern Wisconsin. But the city of Milwaukee and Milwaukee residents have been taxed by the Department of Transportation, vehicle registration fees, fuel taxes, electric vehicle fees to pay for this. I have to oppose any city contribution for that freeway project. The Department of Concrete has enough money. City of Milwaukee does not need to contribute one more penny. Please note my objection for 11 and 12.
Okay, so the objections were 9, 11, and 12 then?
Thank you.
Okay, so noted. Is there any further discussion of the committee report? Again, we're on Public Works. Any further discussion of the Public Works Committee report? Hearing none, Alderman Coggs moves for approval of the remainder of the report of the Public Works Committee. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman Pratt. Chambers. Brower. Bauman. Westmoreland. Cox. Jackson. Salmonella. Taylor. Moore. Burgess. Spiker. Stanford. Madam Chair.
Aye.
14 ayes, 1 excused.
14 ayes, 1 excused. The committee report is adopted. Alderman Peter Burgess will now present the report of the Finance and Personnel Committee.
The Finance and Personnel Committee recommends passage of 24, a substitute ordinance to further amend 2026 rates of pay of offices and positions in the city service. 35, a substitute ordinance to further amend the 2026 offices and positions in the city service. Finance and Personnel Committee recommends adoption of the following. 26, substitute resolution relating to reimbursement allowances for members of the Granville-Havenwoods Advisory Council. 27, substitute resolution relating to acceptance and funding of the 2026-27 Public Health Emergency Preparedness Grant to the Wisconsin Department of Health Services. The Finance and Personnel Committee recommends placing on file 28, communication from the Department of Employee Relations relating to classification studies scheduled for Friday Police Commission action. 29, communication from the Department of City Development relating to the feasibility of creating an employee down payment assistance program. 30, communication from the Department of Employee Relations relating to the classification study scheduled for City Service Commission action. 31, communication from the Department of Employee Relations amending the salary and positions ordinances relating to clerical or administrative corrections. 32, communication from the Common Council City Clerk's Office amending the positions ordinance relating to adding auxiliary executive administrative assistant positions.
Okay, the chair recognizes Alderman Mark Chambers.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Please note my objection to item 26-260-123. Thank you.
Okay, that objection is noted. Is there any further discussion of the committee report? Any further discussion? Hearing none, Alderman Burgess moves for adoption of the recommendations of the Finance and Personnel Committee. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman Pratt. Chambers. Brower. Bowman. Westmoreland. Cox. Jackson. Salmonella. Taylor. Moore. Burgess. Spiker. Stanford. Madam Chair.
Aye.
14 ayes, 1 excused.
14 ayes, 1 excused. The committee report is adopted. Alderman DeAndre Jackson will now present the report of the Judiciary and Legislation Committee.
The Judiciary and Legislation Committee recommends adoption of 33, substitute resolution approving the settlement of the complaint entitled Tiffany Lewis versus the City of Milwaukee, EW case number 25CB1573. The Judiciary and Legislation Committee recommends placing on file 54, resolution relating to the claim of Gendlin, Liver, and Reimer SC on behalf of Michael Rogers. And the Judiciary and Legislation Committee recommends disallowance and indefinite postponement of items 35 through 37, claims against the city.
Thank you. Is there any discussion of the committee report? Any discussion of the committee report? Hearing none, Alderman Jackson moves for adoption of the recommendations of the Judiciary and Legislation Committee. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman Pratt. Chambers. Brower. Bowman. Westmoreland. Cox. Jackson. Salmonella. Taylor. Moore. Burgess. Spiker. Stanford.
Excuse.
Madam Chair.
Aye.
13 ayes, 2 excused.
13 ayes, 2 excused. The committee report is adopted. Alderman Scott Spiker will now present the report of the Public Safety and Health Committee.
The Public Safety and Health Committee recommends passage of 38, an ordinance relating to parking controls, 39, an ordinance relating to traffic controls. The committee recommends adoption of 40, substitute resolution relative to the acceptance of funding of the 2026-27 Immunization Action Plan grant from the State of Wisconsin Department of Health Services. 41, resolution related to the acceptance of funding of the 2026-27 Communicable Disease Prevention Grant from the Wisconsin Department of Health Services. 42, substitute resolution relative to the acceptance of funding of the 2026-27 Cities Readiness Initiative Grant from the Wisconsin Department of Health Services. 43, resolution relative to the acceptance and subsequent expenditure of a $3,500 contribution to the Milwaukee Fire Department from Havish, and Rotier. 44, resolution authorizing the Milwaukee Fire Department to enter into an agreement with the Milwaukee Board of School Directors on behalf of the Milwaukee Public Schools for continued operations of the Survive Alive House. The committee recommends approval of 45, substitute motion modifying the Milwaukee Police Department's standard operating procedures regarding the duty to intervene and report unreasonable use of force. The committee recommends placing on file item 46, communication from the Milwaukee Police Department and the Fire and Police Commission related to police pursuit policies. 47, communication from the Milwaukee Fire Department and AT&T related to the deployment and use of FirstNet platform. 48, communication from the Fire and Police Commission and Milwaukee Fire Department related to the 2026 fire training classes and associated departmental vacancies. 49, motion modifying the Milwaukee Police Department Standard Operating Procedure 660, vehicle pursuits and emergency vehicle operations, and 575, video release policy. And 50, communication relating to the issuance and temporary noise variance permits.
Thank you so much. The chair recognizes Alderperson Jocasta Samarripa.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to speak on item number 45, the SOP motion modifying MTV's SOP regarding the implementing and report unreasonable use of force. Madam President, I speak today in support of the final SOP motion in our ISAL and legislative package, championed by Alderman Alex Bauer and so many members of our communities. Madam Chair, there was a time when I fretted about this piece of our ISAL package. I feared that it would be the most difficult for us to get through, and I worried that we would not get the votes in committee. So very proud and moved was I when it passed with a unanimous vote of the Public Safety and Health Committee. I want to send deep gratitude to Chairman Scott Spiker for his willingness to schedule this SOP motion and to every member of the committee who voted for it. To Alderman Alex Bauer, as I have done so often throughout this journey, I thank you for your leadership in shepherding ISAL MKE through the legislative process. You have had countless meetings with colleagues and activists and constituents, Alex. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your tireless commitment, not just to our immigrant community, though that is certainly the case, but to the people of the city of Milwaukee, period. And a message to our constituents, as I have heard a little bit of shade, folks mentioned that they want their alders focused solely on local issues, the issues of the city, things like garbage pickup, street cleaning, etc. And I want to assure our constituents that we are focused on these matters. But I also want to remind our constituents that we are here because of the incompetence and the outrageousness of the Trump administration. We are here because of the ineptitude and the incompetence of Trump's ICE. We are here because of the Americans murdered in the streets of our neighbors in Minnesota just next door to us. Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preddy, let us say their names. We are here because our constituents, Milwaukeeans, like Salah Sarsour and Yesenia Milano, were unjustly and illegally plucked from their communities or forced from their homes. This is why your local leaders are taking up this charge. Immigration, an issue that has historically been addressed at the federal level and sometimes the state level, is being taken up by your local alders because we must do everything that we can to keep our people safe. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Alderwoman Milele Cox, followed by Alderman Brower. Alderwoman Cox. Oh, you good? Okay. Alderman Alex Brower.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Really appreciate the opportunity to speak. We stand on a rather historic meeting today. I'm so glad the members of the committee have decided once again to show up. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to be here at the Milwaukee County Council and watch this happen. The changing of a police standard operating procedure has historically been solely the purview of the Fire and Police Commission. We made some would describe Faustian bargain with the state legislature to achieve Act 12, which now gives us the power to change police standard operating procedure. And if we are given the power and can use it for good, we should execute it. And today, we have before us the chance to pass this legislation and have this be the first time that we've used this power to modify a police standard operating procedure since Act 12 came into law. And let's use it and pass this. And I think, based on the conversations, I think we can pass this almost unanimously today. I really think we can. We need, right now, this morning, 10 votes, yes, to pass the standard operating procedure. Even if people are excused, even if people aren't on the floor, we need 10 votes. I am hoping, colleagues, and I know members of the community that are here are hoping that we can get those 10 votes this morning. This is entirely, I believe this is one of the most consequential votes that I'll be taking here this morning, if not one of the most consequential votes of my tenure here so far on the Common Council. This is an opportunity for us to put some teeth to the proposals that we put forward, the multitude of proposals that we put forward to keep ICE out of Milwaukee and prepare our city for the possibility of an ICE occupation of our city by the Trump administration. And let's be clear about what we're facing right now, okay? I was thinking this morning as I was coming downtown that, Darwin's theory of evolution posits that a species would advance over time, but I really do think sometimes that the orangutan in the Oval Office challenges that theory of evolution. So I think what we're faced with here right now in Wisconsin and in Milwaukee and across this country is a White House that's completely out of control and in a fascist downward spiral and trying to bring the rest of the country with it. Well, let's be the bulwark against that rising tide of fascism here today in Milwaukee. Let's stand up to the Trump administration and to the critics and online trolls who say that we're wasting our time by doing this. This will change what our police are required to do on the ground. And what we're demanding that they do with this change to the SOP is uphold the oath that they took to protect and defend the residents of the city of Milwaukee, even if it's another officer and even if it's the federal government. We demand that they protect our people here in Milwaukee. Believes in this city, who wants to be the guardian of peace instead of a warrior, but a guardian of peace, will follow this SOP and intervene should ICE come to this city. And I do not think we can rest on our laurels and think that they won't, just because, as I said, Trump is on his back heel right now politically. That does not mean he has stopped. He is still, unfortunately, the President of the United States of America, and he still has a huge amount of power to deploy his goon squad, otherwise known as ICE, to any city he wants at any time. So we should not rest on our laurels and think, oh, just because that happened in Minnesota and now the media is now talking about Iran, that everything's all good when it comes to ICE. No, right? They're gonna use every tool they can to harass and oppress and deport our immigrant friends and neighbors. Immigrants helped to build this country. and we need to stand with them. It is the bigger person in the world who, when someone is seeking refuge from another place, who sets a table to welcome them rather than shunning them. And that's what this country should be doing. We need to be welcoming every single immigrant into this country who wants to be here and who wants to build a better life. We need their help to make this country actually great, if that's what we purport to want to do here in this country. So what this will do today, it is not a perfect piece of legislation. It is not a perfect piece of legislation. No piece of legislation that we adopt is going to be perfect. When you're in the arena, you get dirty. Okay, when you're in the arena of making change, okay, but this legislation will compel our officers to do something. We've seen instance after instance across this country where police have done nothing when ICE executes complete barbarity on residents of our cities. We have seen city officers stand by. And I demand that our police do more than stand by. I demand that they do something. Wisconsin are the law of the land here, and if an individual, no matter their rank, no matter their title, commits murder, they need to be charged in Wisconsin. So we are compelling our police to do that. We are compelling our police to do that today. Madam Chair, I would ask for a roll call on this important piece of legislation so that we can ensure that we have the 10 votes needed and everyone can know in their heart that today they did the right thing to stand up to the federal government that is completely out of control. And colleagues in the council, I urge you to proudly vote yes on this so we can not only make common council history, but we can have Milwaukee be the leader across this country in standing up to this administration. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, a roll call has been requested by a member of the Common Council, and hearing no objections, it shall be called. Before we go to the roll call on this motion, it is a motion, an SOP change. Any other questions or comments on the motion? Okay. Madam Clerk, just for clarity, could you just read the item in particular, once again, that we're calling the roll on?
Item number 45, a substitute motion modifying the Milwaukee Police Department standard operating procedures regarding the duty to intervene and report unreasonable uses of force.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk, and will you please call the roll on item 45?
Alderwoman Pratt. Chambers. Brower.
Proudly aye.
Bowman.
Aye.
Westmoreland.
Aye.
Cox. Jackson. Zamarika.
Aye.
Taylor. Aye. Moore. Aye. Burgillis.
Aye.
Spiker.
Aye.
Stafford.
Aye.
Madam Chair.
Aye. Thank you so much. That is approved with 14 and 1 excuse. Is there any further discussion of the committee report? Reminder, we're on the entirety of the Public Safety and Health Committee report. Any other questions? I see Alderman Brower.
Yeah, thank you so much, Madam Chair. I would just like to clarify, please, when staff, please correct me if I'm wrong, but on the passage of that motion makes that motion now an official standard operating procedure. There is no signature required for the mayor. Am I correct with that?
That is correct. That was the final action on that item. Thank you. Any other questions or comments or discussion on the remainder of the Public Safety and Health Committee report? Okay, hearing and seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on the report.
Alderwoman Craig. Chambers. Brower.
Aye.
Bowman.
Aye.
Westmoreland.
Aye.
Cox.
Aye.
Jackson. Zamarika.
Aye.
Taylor.
Aye.
Moore. Burgess. Spiker. Stanford.
Aye.
Madam Chair.
Aye.
14 ayes, 1 excused.
14 ayes, 1 excused, the committee report is adopted. We'll now move on to Zoning, Neighborhoods, and Development Committee, and Alderman Robert Baumann will present this report.
The Zoning, Neighborhoods, and Development Committee recommends adoption of 51, substitute resolution relating to the minor modification to the detailed plan of development known as King Commons, Phase 1, to allow exterior alterations to the existing residential structure at 1162-64 East King Place, located on the north side of East King Place, east of North Humboldt Avenue, in the 3rd Aldermanic District. 52, resolution approving a land disposition report and authorizing the sale of the city-owned tax-deeded property at 327-678 North Fulton Street in the 6th Aldermanic District. 53, resolution authorizing the sale back to former owners of the city-owned tax-deeded property located at 2409 to 11 West Hopkins Street in the 7th Aldermanic District. The committee recommends placing on file item 54, communication from the Department of City Development relating to anticipated revenues that may be available from the tax incremental district extensions for affordable housing program in the 2027 budget.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion of the committee report? Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, Alderman Baumann moves for adoption of the recommendations of the Zoning, Neighborhoods, and Development Committee. Will the clerk please